Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the weekly Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle. This is our fifth one, so yay, we've been doing them every week for a month now, and here we are today. My name is Amelia Fortes, and for those of you who may know me a little bit or may not know me, I am a self-love teacher as well as a self-love coach, and I work mostly remotely with people all over the world to help them heal, take things deeper, and get what they want even faster. I really specialize in activating people so that they can really activate their deepest truth and their deepest desire and then actually turn that into tangible action steps. And I decided to run these healing circles because I wanted to create a safe space for people to just meet each other and gather in community and take things even deeper. So I'm really excited to have you here. There are 4 people with us live, including myself. And I know that a lot of people also join on the recording. So if you're watching the recording, hello. All right, well, we'll just jump right in. So last week, this worked really well, and I'm going to start doing this from now on, but the topic of the day will come from our self-love activation oracle cards, which I developed these cards, and Mo, who's on right now, she designed them. So together, we created this amazing 44-card oracle deck, which is designed to activate your self-love. And there are 7 different categories. So it could either be money, spirituality, body, community, relationships, career, and then there's 2 wild cards, which is like the unofficial 7th category. And it was really cool. Last week, the card that was pulled was a money card, and we talked about the energy of money and avoiding toxic money. And it was really cool. We had a really engaging conversation around where everyone was at with their abundance mindset, where some fears and doubts were coming up, and we all helped each other kind of decide on some tangible steps for moving forward. So I thought that worked really well. I already shuffled the cards before this, and then I actually pulled 3 possible cards right before we got started. And so I actually want to give those of you live a vote so you can choose either A, B, or C. And then I'll pick whichever one most of us choose. So I'll just kind of go in order from what I see. Justin, what's your vote for? A, B, or C?
B.
B? Okay. Mo, what's your vote?
B.
B? Okay. And Christine, how about you?
That's the first thing I thought of was, I think I'll go with B.
Yeah.
All right, then we're going with B. And so B is, it's actually from the career category, and you can really take it wherever you want, but it's follow your curiosity. B is follow your curiosity. I'm seeing some nods of affirmation that this is really good for you. So first step is take 2 minutes, and I'll time you to just journal on this. Just write the phrase, follow your curiosity, and then just start writing. And don't edit or judge what comes up. Just start writing, and then I'll let you know when 2 minutes is up, and then we'll all share. About a minute left. And start wrapping up your last two sentences. And then I also like to say no one is ever obligated to share, but everyone is welcome to share. So since we have a small intimate group, I will call on you, but feel free to say pass if you don't want to share. But for those of you who are excited to share first, who would like to jump in and just tell us a little bit about what came up for you in your journaling?
Well, I'll share if nobody else will.
Yeah, go ahead, Christine.
I just was wondering, I'm just starting up a pet care provider business, dog walking, cat sitting. And I was just curious, how many dogs could I visualize myself and cats a day to take care of and be happy and comfortable and have time to go to my yoga and my Qigong class and still have time for my own dog. I guess I haven't really thought about that, and I was kind of curious, trying to imagine myself how many different cat check-ins and dog walks would I possibly want to do each day.
Have you started this business already, or this is something that you're...
Yes, actually, I've been doing it off and on, and I just quit my part-time employment, and so I kind of forced myself to go forward and make it my business. I'm not, it's such a small business. It's just me, and I guess I've been told that I should be really working with a group of people and a company, and that I'm a team player, and I don't feel that way at all. And I finally just started listening to myself and my own guidance, and I'm thinking that would make me very happy just to deal with everything myself, set my rate, go out to people's homes, take care of their pets for them while they're away. So yeah, I just, in the last week, actually, I just started doing this full time.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Welcome, Carmen. I just added someone to the group who joined. Hey, Carmen, how are you? If you could unmute yourself. Christine, we'll still work with you, but Carmen, we just journaled on the card of the day from the Self-Love Activation Oracle cards, and we're talking about follow your curiosity. And so Christine just started sharing. I think, how do you feel about what came up for you through this journaling, Christine?
I guess I never thought about it, like how many, pets I could possibly take care of during the day. So I guess I was just curious about that I'm thinking that far. I never thought about having too many pets to take care of, I guess.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that? Realizing that coming up.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm focusing on that and trying to plan. I think that's part of the risk I took of starting my own business, and to take control of, all the red tape that you usually would have to deal with working in a company. And I guess I was just I'm really glad I'm curious about that, because it's part of the planning and taking ownership of something new
Absolutely.
that I'm
Absolutely.
doing.
Well, I think you're in a really good spot, and I want to get to other people, but I definitely want to keep going a little bit deeper with that with you, unless something else comes up. But I did want to say that I love this card because it really creates like a softness. I feel like in our culture, we have such a pressure for things to be or look a certain way. Like a lot of people, especially when you're young, people are like, what's your passion? What do you want to be when you grow up? And most of us are like, I don't freaking know. um, and there's like this pressure to just know and have all the answers. And I think, and I'm sure too with you, Christine, like you just quit your part-time job, you're embarking into this full-time business, and you've already experienced that people are telling you, oh, well, you should do it this way and that way, and it's like there might be some pressure to have these answers. um, but when you ask about the curiosity, that's when kind of something opens up. Would you agree with that, Christine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. What do you sense in this moment you might need support with in this, since we're kind of following your curiosity there?
Oh, the confidence. I guess I have some confidence in myself, but I can easily get discouraged. Um, so to stick it out and support, just to uh, stay curious and stick it out to see what happens, to see if
Yeah.
I can materialize this dream that I've had for probably 5 years. I've been thinking about it off and on.
Wow. Well, congratulations were in order anyway, but definitely like starting to manifest a dream that you've been thinking about for 5 years is no small feat.
Yeah, yeah, it's very exciting. It's starting to happen. I'm getting calls, and it's like, it's like perfect timing. When I quit this part-time job that was causing, there was more cons and pros, and I thought, this is it. This is the push I need to go in
Yeah.
the direction that I really want to go into. And things are kind of falling in place. And I guess I have some doubts still lingering, thinking, oh, I miss the people I worked with, or oh, maybe I made a mistake, or oh, am I going to get lonely just dealing with people's pets all the time, and those type of things.
Well, we'll take it a little bit deeper for sure. I want to hear where everyone else is at as well, and then
Yeah.
we'll take everyone a little bit deeper. But I think that's a really good spot to be in, Christine. Thank you. Oh, we lost
Mm-hmm.
Carmen. Maybe she'll come back. But would anyone else like to share next?
Yeah, I'll share if nobody else would like to go. Man, this was really fun. I really enjoyed this. The very first thing that came up is like, it's time to be childlike, to heal all those things that happened to me in the past. And it's time to just wonder and just let go and just enjoy all the little surprises that come along the way. And I don't know, this just came out of me. And it's like, I get to be grateful for what lies ahead, for where I'm currently at, and how far I've come in this crazy journey.
Did anything surprise you from the journaling?
Yeah, these past 2 days, I've been really resisting rest. I feel like I have so many things that I need to get done. Having a day job, stepping into taking full-time acting classes, running the podcast, and I just felt like there was so many things. I needed to clean up my apartment. I just felt like it was a lot of things that I had to do all at once. And the moment I stopped resisting rest, I just was so much happier. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lean into it instead of trying to resist it. And I think that the curiosity part where it's being childlike. Like I said, I've been curious for a long time, and I've been down this long road to step fully into taking acting classes. And recently, I just went to a student showcase, and these students they were just doing simple comedy scenes. And one of the scenes, the guy actually got mugged, he got robbed. And all these feelings and emotions came up for me because I actually did get robbed in real life at gunpoint. And I was like, wow, this is going to be a really therapeutic session for me to be able to heal my PTSD around that. There was another scene where they were reenacting a scene from Good Will Hunting. That was more of a dramatic scene, but it was just a guy in his shorts, and his girl was laying on him as if they were replaying the scene, if they were like in the bed laying down, talking about their future together. And I think just seeing the guy, not fully clothed, like, and just seeing the girl like together, I was thinking, you know what, I may or may not have to do parts like that. And how am I going to feel about doing that? And what is that going to be like? So I think that there's an opportunity for healing around that as well. So it's just fun to know that. All right, I know I'm headed in the right direction because all these emotions came up and need to be processed. But at the same time, I get to be childlike and following. So.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned about resisting rest, because a couple of weeks ago during our circle, and just for everyone, because I think everyone else was not here a couple of weeks ago, but what came up 2 weeks ago on our circle was everyone had a theme of like rushing through life, and like this question of like not enoughness, like when is enough enough? Like, why do I keep doing all these things? So it's interesting that this theme is coming up again for you. Why do you think you resist rest?
I don't know. I don't know if it's some deep subconscious thing. I asked myself that question today, and I think that was the great start of it. It's like, I keep getting the message of, slow down, and like I don't have to always be on. And in order to be on more, I have to take breaks and take rest. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that happened to me really young. I don't know. I think I get to explore that and be curious and like find out what part of me thinks that I can't like just be. I mean, I love that because of the meditation that I did today with the 21 day Deepak and Oprah meditation was about just be. Like, there's nothing you have to do today. Like, just be grateful for being able to just be here on the earth. So I was happy to practice with that. So I don't know. I'm excited to go find out what really that is.
Yeah. And I also just want to note, whenever like one person is talking and we're working with one person, I'm clear. I believe that it's for everyone. I feel like everyone on this call knows that, and I feel like everyone watching this recording already knows that, but for some reason I wanted to just say that as a reminder. And I love hosting these, because it's like we just went from like someone who's like have a full-time pet care business, to someone who is starting to dabble into acting, to a wonderful intuitive graphic designer in Mo. Like, it's just everyone's from all different things. And so sometimes it might feel like, oh, well, I don't relate to that person, or that person's life path is not mine, or I just don't relate to what they're saying. But I just invite you all listening on the recording and here live to just use the law of adaptation, because you're here for a reason. And, the universe doesn't make any mistakes. So you're here to receive something. And I love that you actually brought it up, Justin, with the follow your curiosity, because that's going to be our next piece of journaling, is to like get curious about the thing that either you're resisting, or, to take that curiosity deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until we kind of come to a truth. So thank you for bringing that in. And it's interesting, with healing, right? Healing is a process. And so we'll have themes recur. And so it's just funny, the whole rushing through life and the not enoughness theme that happened a couple of weeks ago with our participants, and you were there, and kind of this resisting rest thing happening now. So something to be curious about, like you said. And then like for you, Christine, those doubts and those lingering doubts that you were mentioning, and those like, oh my gosh, did I make the right choice? Those are things to be curious about too. Mo, did you want to share?
I mean, I will briefly.
Yeah, sure.
For me, it was interesting because it immediately pointed out something that I hadn't really noticed. So like lately, I have sort of been really like hard on myself because of my curiosity, because I always have a million new ideas and a million things that I want to do, and I get really overwhelmed, and then I like kind of feel like paralyzed with like indecision because I'm and like my curiosity is a big part of that because I love learning new things and then using those new things and seeing how I can expand and like all the like details and the moving pieces, like that's my thing. And you know, the first thing I started writing was, but then immediately I heard this other voice in my head going, whoa, don't be a dick. Like, you love your curiosity. This is like one of your favorite qualities, and here you are like being so negative about that instead of embracing it and actually trusting it. And so that was like the big thing for me. It was like, why are you being so hard on yourself? This is something you love about yourself. This is something that's really benefited you a lot in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just like a self-trust issue almost.
Yeah. Well, I one of my favorite things is like our genius can easily be our madness. Like they're two sides of the same coin. And you know, like for me, my curiosity and my creativity, I relate like so much to that. Like I have so many ideas and so many things, and like unchecked, it can be my madness. And so the question that came up was like being curious, or maybe not the question, but the next thing to be curious about is like, oh, I wonder how I can best keep that curiosity in check where I'm fully honoring that curiosity, but like not driving myself crazy or paralyzing myself with indecision, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any sense of what the solution there might be, or not yet?
Not quite. I mean, I think that like I've been getting a lot, like I read cards for myself all the time and journal. I've been trying to journal like daily recently, and like the same things are coming up, and it's really at this point all about like, where am I holding back? Where am I not letting go when I need to let go? And why am I not trusting myself as much as I normally would? Like I'll even look back to like where I was 2 years ago in my business, and I was taking so many more risks and really putting myself out there so much more and trusting myself to do the thing. And I'm holding back so much more now. And I'm like, why? You know? So that's what I'm kind of stuck at right now.
Okay. Well, I think in the theme of curiosity, and again, just to like reiterate, like, you know, when I wrote this card, it was the intention of this card is to loosen up any stuckness, and it's actually inspired by. So I'm going to tell a story, and then we're going to take it deeper. So that's what's going to happen. But it's inspired by this speech that Elizabeth Gilbert gave. I don't know where it was, but I saw like a video of it. But you know, she talks about how we pressure people so much to like find your passion. Like, what's your passion? What's the thing that you love? And that's the thing that you're going to follow, and blah, blah, blah. And like, but then there's so many people, especially like millennials, and or just living in this day and age, there's just so many options and like so many multi-passionate people. I know people have used the term multi-potentialite, multi-passionate, and I think that when we pressure people to have this passion or have the answers, it kind of shuts off the curiosity everywhere else. And that's why the intention of this card is to kind of diffuse that. And so I'll just say what I'm seeing for each of you to take deeper. And then, of course, let the journaling kind of unfold for itself. But like for you, Christine, I would, the next question is going to be, you know, like following your curiosity for the next level deeper. So Christine, for you, I would be curious about, some of those self-doubts and those fears of like, curious about the voice that's saying that, the part of you that's doubting and the part of you that wishes she had more confidence. So that's where I would kind of explore the curiosity. And what that would look like is, starting to like identify that voice and be like, hey, like, what's your name? And what should I call you? And maybe it's, I don't know what you would name it. So I don't want to make up a name that it wouldn't be, but make up a name for that part of you, and then have a dialogue with that part and be curious about, what do you need? Kind of like if it's a small child saying, oh, I don't want to go to the theme park. I'm scared, and you're kind of like, oh, well, what are you scared about? Like, what's going on? What's wrong? Like, tell me more. And so imagine as if you're kind of conversing with that part. Christine, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, that sounds like something I could do. I think would be very beneficial.
Yeah. So I would be curious about that part. And then Justin, for you, curious about that part that resists rest and that feels like it needs to keep going and being productive. And then Mo, there's a few things you can do, and I feel like your intuition will know best anyway. But the last thing that you said was like, why am I holding back? So that had me very curious, especially when compared to, like you said, a couple of years ago, you were taking more risks and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a part of you there that needs a little bit of attention. But then also the question that came up was, how can you honor your curiosity in a way that doesn't, paralyze you with indecision or so those might even end up weaving together, but either one of those, I feel like, follow your gut on that one. How do you feel about that?
I feel like they connect completely. And
Okay.
kind of one.
So yeah,
I started answering in my head, and like one immediately led into the other, and I was
yeah,
like,
I had a feeling too. So we'll see what happens. And I'll give everyone 3 minutes just because I want everyone to be able to go deeper. And then Justin, how about you? How does that work for you, for what to take a little deeper?
Yeah, I'm already like leaning into
Sure.
other questions that come up. So
Okay, beautiful. So I'll give everyone 3 minutes so you can really take it deep. Okay. So just go ahead and I'll give you time checks along the way. And I'll see if I can find some music to play. So it's like,
I got some, unless you already got it.
okay, you can play some music for us.
Okay. Does that work?
Sure. Two minutes left. One minute left. go ahead and wrap up your final thoughts? And then we can just go around again. And before we open up for sharing again, um, another thing I want to say is, the purpose of these healing circles is just to activate something in you that prior to tonight has not been activated. And it's just a start to open things up. And what we've found over the last few circles is, oftentimes really deep stuff can come up, or something that feels really big. And sometimes there's a feeling of wanting to resolve it in this session, but there's a few of us here and we really only have an hour together. And so in the spirit of the card we have, following your curiosity, is just allow these things to open up, and we're just bringing things into your awareness. And then there's lots of opportunities to take them even deeper, including, coming to future circles to continue to do the work and take it deeper, or working with me one-on-one, or getting your own copy of a deck. There's lots of different things which I'll talk about towards the end, but I just wanted to say that again, because I feel like with these journaling, so many things can come up. And if you're anything like me, I'm always like, I need to figure this out now. But it would be impossible to figure out all of our life's mysteries in an hour. I wish we could. And I swear, if I had the ability to do that, I would be inviting everyone to do that. So I invite you to just stay gentle and compassionate with yourself and curious. Okay, so who would like to go and share about what came up from that journaling? You don't have to share everything, just, the major highlights, or,
I'll go.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah, the thing that came up, like the biggest thing for me, is like, I remember when I was little, like, and even now, like, my mom and dad are like always struggling and look exhausted, like just to like get by. So I don't know if that like made me tell a story that in order to get by, or in order to make it, you have to work yourself to the bone. And so then I started thinking, like, all right, like this is what my life looks like currently, running off of I'm not enough and I need to always be working. And then I started thinking, like, what would I be capable of if I did feel like I was, like, how would my life look then? How would it be different? And then I started thinking, like, well, how well rested could I be then if I was running off of I am enough and I am allowed to be lazy, and that's not bad. And then I started thinking about what can being in the flow look like then, because when we're in the flow, things just come to you. You attract business deals, good relationships, everything. And then sometimes you come out of the flow and you rest, and then you recover, and then you get right back in it real easily. And I think sometimes, we get, I don't know, even like for myself, like if I miss the gym one time, or if I, mess up on a meal, then I feel like my whole completely like week and month is messed up. But it's like, that's not necessarily true. Like, how can I just get right back on track? So that was the big thing, breakthrough for me.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing mom and dad into it, because our primary caregivers, whether we're conscious of it or not, mostly we're not conscious of it because we're like 5, but from like the age of 0 to 5, we absorb, like we learn a lot about how to be in the world by observing our primary caregivers, and we take that on. And so, yeah, it absolutely makes sense that if you're always used to seeing your mother and your father struggling and always exhausted, that sets a program in your subconscious of like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to operate in the world. So we learn our receptivity and our havingness. Havingness is one of my favorite terms. It's like I think it's a made up term. I didn't make it up, but I've heard it around, and it's like your ability to have, your ability to receive. A lot of people say, I want $1 million, but do you actually have the capacity to have that and to hold that? Because having creates a lot of sensation in your body. And we need to train ourselves to be able to receive and to have that. And I love that you brought in the whole, you took it even deeper, like, well, what would it look like if I operate from I am enough and I operate from flow, and that being lazy and resting is not bad. And then you started to say, yeah, I attract new opportunities. So I'm glad that you're continuing to like lean into the curiosity there. And I invite everyone listening to this to just keep going down that track, because you will start to discover more. And awareness is always the first step. The other piece before I ask you a question is, I also noticed that black and white thinking coming up again. And I know that came up a couple weeks ago too, when we were all talking about being enough. And it's like, yeah, oh, if I mess up my gym routine and my eating routine, then like the whole month is messed up. And that is like, black and white thinking is a term that is used to describe that. And that is like coming from like a child's mentality, because as children, we're not as like developed emotionally, maturity wise, etc. And so we tend to have black and white thinking. And so when that programming goes unchecked, we bring that into our adult life. And so it's like everything is ruined, and I definitely have black and white thinking with a lot of things as well. So I relate to that. And I think sometimes just naming it as, oh, I'm having black and white thinking again, allows me to like open up to the gray area, which is what life is. Life is not black and white. Life is in full technicolor. And there's lots of ways to succeed and to move through life. How does that resonate with you, that black and white thinking part, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, nail on the head.
Yeah. What do you think in terms of black and white thinking, or moving through life, I am enough, or allowing yourself to rest? What do you feel is like the next right step for you?
Well, I was gonna say the way, like, you guys could support me, or kind of, what is next is like, what are ways that I can practice resting? Like, what are ways that I can, or some things that I can do to slow down? What are some things that I can do to like let go and release? And I mean, I have some ideas, but I'm just curious to know what works for you guys.
Yeah, I definitely want to open it up to everyone. And first, though, point out, I love that you said practice.
Mm,
That is actually opening up to non-black and white thinking. Because like a lot of people think, oh, I'm really bad at self-care and I'm really bad at rest. So like, okay, now that I know that, then now I'm perfect. And that's not it. It's really about
yeah.
practice. And I know I've brought it up on a few circles, and this is one thing one of my coaches taught me, is like the difference between breakthrough and transformation. And so you can journal for the breakthrough. You can have like a psychic reading for the breakthrough. You can go to a workshop or come to a healing circle for the breakthrough. And the breakthrough is really that new awareness or that deeper understanding of something. But the transformation has to happen with practice and with consistent and persistent action towards making the change based on the breakthrough that you had. So it's not enough sometimes to just have the break. Sometimes it is. Sometimes once you have an awareness of something, you're like, oh crap, I didn't even know that I do that. Boom, it's done. But definitely for something that is practice, like not being enough or not resting, that will require practice. So thank you so much for like bringing that language into it, because that really does support the whole breakthrough versus transformation piece. But yeah, I'm interested to hear from Christine and Mo, like what are some of your, well, Justin, you can go ahead and ask the question again so that they can answer it.
Yeah, what are some things you guys do to help you practice slowing down, letting go, recovering, resting, taking a break?
Well, I'm really bad at letting go. So it's something I work on a lot. And one of the things that I've found helps me is ritual when it comes to, well, I do moon rituals. So for the full moon, one's supposed to be all about like release and letting go. So what I do is I write down all of the things I want to let go of, and then I burn them all. And it's a pretty simple act, but it makes you really like focus on just that moment and the symbolism of releasing those things and like letting go of the how, you know, the constant, you know, I have to do these things and these are all how I'm going to do them, and like all the details, you kind of let go of that a little bit. And even just like writing a list of all the things you have to do, like a to-do list, and burning that.
I've
like
never done that. That sounds amazing.
That sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's like, because you like you know you have to do these things, and I'm sure they're organized somewhere else that, you know, is important. But like but like seeing your to-do list fucking burn.
Mo, is there a specific phase of the moon that you do that in?
Yeah, I do it for the full moon.
Full moon.
New moon is all about like setting intentions. So during the new moon, I set intentions and I put my, you know, things I want, my desires, and I write new goals, things like that. But during the new moon, or the full moon, I mean, it's all about release and letting go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. I've never thought of burning my to-do list. That sounds amazing. Did you have something to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do the new moon, full moon thing too, but I never did the burning, and I think that's very beneficial. I live in an apartment, so I'm thinking, how would I burn that? And I thought, oh, I could be discreet somehow, put it by my stove fan or something.
In the
But,
sink. I like to burn in the sink because then I can just put the water right away.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that idea. That's real good, letting go. I do something similar like that too.
That.
I also meditate as a way of letting go, but I have like a daily practice of meditating, and for 30 minutes every day. And it's amazing because there's things I'm not aware that I'm ruminating about, but once I meditate, my mind just clears.
Yeah.
And I've become aware of that constant thinking, monkey brain.
Mm-hmm. Aware of it is good for sure.
Yeah.
Were you going to share another technique, Christine?
Oh, no, I find this very interesting.
Yeah, that's why I love having these two. We're like gathering in community and sharing these things, and I'm so happy you brought ritual into it, Mo. I love ritual, and it's funny because ritual can be like a scary word for people, like, because it's like, it sounds like if you don't do ritual or use that word or use that terminology, it can feel like, whoa, which I think everyone here is pretty comfortable with it. But just in case anyone listening, I know a lot of my clients and a lot of the people in my email list and Facebook group, secular religions and stuff like that. Ritual just means taking something intangible and making it tangible to create like an experience, and Mo, if you have anything to add on to that. I mean, I don't have like the official definition, but like simply put, it's just like doing an action. Like, so like what Mo said, if you need to let something go, like take it and actually like burn it, or I like to rip things apart. Burning is fun if I want to focus on like the transformation of it. Ripping is like if I got some anger or something, if I have like a physical something I need to put into it, I like to rip because that's a lot of like angst that I can let go of. But just some rituals that are like accepted in society is like, like graduation, when you put the tassel on the other side, or in California, we're big on having the leis. Like that was new to me when I moved out here from New York, but there's like a big thing about having a lei around your neck when you're graduating. Marriage, putting on a ring. These are all rituals, taking physical, tangible things to symbolize something that's intangible, to symbolize a bond. That's why signatures are like, that's a ritual. You're signing something to make it official, so I'm so glad that you brought it up because I got to talk about it like that. So yeah, ritualize everything. Any other questions for you, Justin, that you want to ask, or do you feel pretty good about?
No, that was great. Thank you.
Okay. I want to make sure we have about like 12 minutes left, so I want to definitely, I don't want to feel like we're speeding through anyone, but hopefully everything is helping everyone. But I want to be able to touch on everyone and then do like one more kind of round and then start to close up for today. But either Mo or Christine want to talk a little bit about what came up from the deeper, taking it deeper journaling?
Well, I'll go real quick. I've thought about this before, but I guess I thought about it in a new way. I was curious about, like, it sort of goes back to, is it Justin is his name?
Yes.
I just wrote down, work is supposed to be hard, not fun or rewarding. And who do I think I am, doing what I love and love what I'm doing and earning enough money to pay my bills and plus more? I guess I grew up in a working class family, and work wasn't supposed to be fun. It's hard, there's, and to actually do something I love to do, I almost feel like I'm kind of curious, like I'm waiting for permission almost to be happy. Like it's okay for me to have work that's fulfilling and rewarding and meaningful and purposeful and gives me life and makes me happy. And almost like, oh, is it okay to collect this money and pay my bills?
It absolutely
Um,
is. But I get
yeah,
it.
it's
I
like,
relate.
wow, is it okay? I mean, because I spent 25 years earning very good money in a soulless job that I didn't like and I didn't dislike. It was just nothing. It was just a great money. And then I had an accident, and then this kind of led me on this other road here that I'm going. And so I really believe everything happens for a reason. And yeah, I wish I just curious why I just didn't. I think I always felt like trapped, like I had to stay in that high paying job. And I just kind of, I think it's maybe because of the training, that I had as a child growing up, that work isn't fun, it's drudgery, it's something you have to do to pay the bills, and you don't dare quit your job because that'd be irresponsible. And
I relate so much to that. It's almost like we have very similar stories. Like I worked on Wall Street for almost 10 years and I got my degree in engineering. And I don't regret it because it's pretty cool to be able to say that. And the fact that I
yeah,
survived engineering school is pretty cool. And the fact that I survived working on Wall Street as a young 20-something, in New York City is pretty cool. But I relate to what you're saying, like about the soulless job. And when I left Wall Street, oh my gosh, my whole family like exploded and was like, "What are you doing? You're crazy." And hearing your story, Christine, is like, I'm very excited that this card came up because it comes from the career category. And the whole intention behind the career category, like when I created the actual cards and when Mo and I poured our witchy energy into it, it's purely about like screw societal norms, like screw cultural conditioning. It's like, this is your soul, this is your life. Like, you're the one that has to go to bed with yourself. Like, even if you get married and have someone or whatever, or have kids, and even if there's people that you live with every single day and you see them all the time, you're literally the one that you have to see and like be with all the time. So yeah, you might disappoint some family members or make them, raise a brow or like think you're crazy, but like, you're the one that goes to bed with yourself every night. So like, you ultimately, you need to be happy, and so I'm really excited that that came up for you. And I think, the breakthrough is, and tell me how this resonates for you, Christine, but I think the breakthrough is like, oh, I probably did get this from my family and they taught me all of these things. but the transformation is going to be practicing giving yourself the validation and the permission. Like, you don't have to wait. Actually, there's even a card in the career category where it's like, you don't need permission to be yourself. Which I feel like if Christine were a card from this deck, that would be her. That would be you. And I remember for me, big freedom came when I gave myself the validation and the permission that I used to wait for, like from my parents. Well, my mom mostly, but how does that resonate for you, Christine?
Yeah, it really does. It hits home. It's yeah. And I think that was just the piece, like, who am I waiting for permission from, or who am I waiting to say, yeah, it's okay, Chris, you can do this.
Yeah.
It's all right to be happy.
Absolutely.
Earning money.
No, and I think, the transformation for you will be practicing giving yourself that permission and that validation, but also absolutely finding a community who gets what you're going through, because the thing is, most of the people in your life won't really understand.
They don't.
Yeah, so you find, like, sticking with our community here and finding a local community for you of, like, people who get, like, that you prioritize your happiness and your healing and your self-love will absolutely continue to uplift. Because I don't want to, like, we all could use external validation. Like, I do not poo-poo on external validation. Like, I love applause. I'm a performer, so I love applause. I love getting likes on social media. I love getting compliments. So, like, I am not saying, like, I don't care what people think and screw external validation. We're human beings. We're, like, connecting people. We need validation from other people. And we also get to learn the balance between that and, like, we don't have to wait for validation from, like, our parents or, like, from the wrong people. So I think for you, Christine, that'll be the transformation, the practicing of that balance and finding the people that will validate you. And I know every single one of us on here will totally validate your choice to leave that soul-sucking job. And I thought it was so cool. Like, I had a flutter in my heart when you shared about your pet care business, and that this was a thing. So it feels really good to me, and I validate you, and I know Justin and Mo validate you, and everyone watching will validate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Christine. Mo, did you have anything you wanted to share or get support on?
Sure. First of all, though, before I get into my thing, I had another thought about Justin's stuff that he talked about. This one thing popped out. It was just one thought about rest. Rest doesn't always look like sitting still, I think, is an important thing to note, because, like, for me, I always get so caught up in being productive, but then when I try to, like, rest in a traditional sense, I get bored, I get anxious, I get even more restless. It makes me more restless to rest. But then, like, when I saw, like, well, what makes me actually feel well rested? And, like, for me, I love hiking, and it's this incredibly, like, nourishing experience, but it's not being still at all. It's sometimes it's even like, work, but it nourishes me and it makes me feel so much more rested. So I think it's an important thing to remember that rest doesn't always mean being still.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. He's got a lot of energy, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's like, I know what it's like to be, like, an energetic and, like, on person. But anyways, so my thing, I actually had, like, I was sort of having a breakthrough a little bit with the extra questions that you asked me. And then actually, while you were talking to Justin about, like, the parental thing, and, like, when he brought up and that I had, like, a whole other breakthrough too.
Yay!
Like, for me, I think, yeah, I know. What I was first coming out was, like, that everything for me right now is about feeling safe, because I came from a pretty toxic marriage not that long ago, and I didn't feel safe for a really long time. And so right now I've really been prioritizing feeling safe, and I have a really hard time, like, separating that from, like, stepping out of my comfort zone. well, you know, and trying to, because they're not the same, you know, being comfortable and being safe are not the same things. But it's hard to sometimes separate them. And I realized, am I letting my mental illnesses and my trauma especially win right now? Because they are dictating so much of like the choices that I'm making in my life currently. And at first I was all about healing. It was all about, you know, giving myself the space I needed to kind of come out of that again. But like at this point, am I just overindulging in that, you know? And so I was like, why though? Why do I worry so much about being myself and like not being loved and accepted if I am too much? Why does that make me feel And when, you know, you brought, or when he was bringing up his parents and you were, you know, talking to him about that too, and what they teach you, I realized that most of my life, from both of my parents and my ex-husband, I got the message that when I was wholly myself, it was too much. I was too much, you know, I wouldn't be loved and accepted. And honestly, the more I've become myself over the past few years, I've lost most of my friends, my family members, and my husband. Like I gave up all of that to be me and to embody who I feel like I'm supposed to be truly. And so like, I'm almost kind of at this point confusing, having a hard time prioritizing being myself and still also being able to further my business and trust that my audience will still care, you know, or still love me and accept me. I'm afraid of alienating everyone in the same way that I alienated so many of the people who have, you know, left my life in the past few years, just becoming myself and leaning in, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I so relate to that. I had a breakthrough a couple weeks ago where it was almost like identical, like what you're saying, but like it was, if I'm truly being myself and shining and being like my best self, I'm either going to be abandoned, violated, or neglected. Which was like, you know, talk about a rock in a hard place. It was like a rock in three hard places. And here's the beautiful thing is just the breakthrough and awareness is so good, is so good. And then the transformation will come, like now that you're like the spotlight is on it. And the thing that came up for me that I really wanted to say to you is like, especially like being a woman, like we women have such a strong hypervigilance center. And of course, with all the trauma that has happened and all the different things, it is hard. That's where mastery comes in, because it is hard to like, you have every right to be like, oh my gosh, but starting to trust again that feminine intuition of like, you will know when you're safe and what's not safe. And just starting to notice, is it that protective voice that's like over protective, or are we just stepping outside of our comfort zone? Yeah. So does that resonate for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Another thing that I really got from like my mother was fear. Every decision she made, she lived in, you know, fear all the time. It was always, you know, fear of getting hurt, fear of her children being hurt, fear of people thinking a certain way about her, you know, whatever. And it was always just so, fear was a huge just way of life. And I've worked so hard to get away from that. But then like when I really take a look at my life, how many decisions am I still making out of fear?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, you know, like again, transformation versus breakthrough, it's like sometimes it feels like we're dealing with the same crap, but we're just taking it a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And for like, so it's in my, like, I'm very like body wisdom. So like, I always like talk about what I feel in my body, but I feel like when as you were talking, Mo, I just felt like this, like, you know, like when you're about to jump, I don't know if anyone likes jumping off of things, but I do. So like, but think of something that you do like, because if you don't like that, this is a bad example. But like that feeling of like fear, but like excitement, where it's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump, you know, like jump off the high dive or something. And I feel like this awareness is actually like going to snowball and like take you to the next level. And I relate to it as it really with like my grief with my mom. So I don't know. I know Justin knows this, but Christine, like my mom passed away 6 years ago in this month in April, and I'm starting to just like let go of the really tough part of the grief, and it's like it's allowing like this next level thing, and that makes it hard because the grief is absolutely valid, just like your PTSD. For, I don't know if you use that term, so sorry if that's not the right term for you, but the trauma with your ex-husband, and even just being a child in your parents' home where there was constant fear, it's like it's just the next level, like you're shedding another layer. And I just felt like, I don't know, something was really good about these breakthroughs. I feel it.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel it
too. We're a few minutes over, but I would like to spend a few minutes just wrapping up. I just want to check in on time. Are we good to just spend a few minutes just to wrap everything up? Christine, are you good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I was
Sounds
getting
good.
nods, but then I couldn't see your nod, so that's why I was asking you. So again, like I said, the purpose of these healing circles are to just touch something, to activate something, to start to open it up. My intention is for everyone to leave with a new awareness or a deeper understanding of something that they can then take and run with in the next days. And then, of course, always show up to a next circle and even take it even deeper. But again, like I said, it's just the beginning. So I just want to say a few things that are available to you as further resources. So of course, you can come to future circles. I committed officially to having at least through May. Now, we've already done a month and they're starting to rock and roll. So who knows, they can go beyond May, but at least through May, we'll be having these every week. So, it's the beginning of April. So a resource available to you is to keep coming to the circles. The Courageous Self-Love podcast is also available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher, and my website. So that comes out, episodes come out every Thursday for that. We currently have 2 episodes out, so the 3rd episode is about money, and it's coming out this Thursday. So that's another resource for you. I also have a Facebook group that I believe everyone's part of, but I know, Kristen, you said you don't have social media, but on the recording, there's also a Facebook group that you can be part of. I also have a Patreon, and so I'll link that in the follow-up email, but the Patreon is the Amelia Fortes. And then if you want to take things deeper on a one-on-one call with me, you can also do that by just going to my website, ameliafortes.com. So lots of resources. You're all on my email list, so I also send out an email every Tuesday. They're like, I really pour like my heart and soul into all these resources. So just take advantage. I'm going to cry because I just love creating all this stuff. So take advantage of all these resources. And just to close it off, I want to just go around a couple of times, but first time go around, I'm leaving here with. So I'll just call everyone out. So Justin, we'll start with you. I'm leaving here with.
Oh, I'm leaving here with the awareness of what I have been running off.
What you have been running off? Burning off?
Yeah, running off, like subconsciously.
Mo, how about you? I'm leaving here with.
I am leaving here with, oh gosh, a lot of things. I feel like.
Yay!
I've had some really big moments. I'm leaving here with some connections that I've been really lacking.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I know that feeling when there's like all these pieces and then it's like, whoosh.
Yeah.
That's good. Christine, how about you? What are you leaving here with?
Oh, yeah, that's the first word that came to my mind too. I'm leaving here with the sense of connecting and connection and positivity and support or understanding. It's like, hey, cool. She understood where I was coming from.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't quite feel so alone.
You're not alone at all. there's a lot of us that are going through like similar and exactly what you're going through. So I definitely hope you return for future circles and take advantage of some stuff. I think this is the first time I'm interacting with you. So I'm really excited to meet you and get to know you. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks. I love hearing everything Mo had to say and Justin. It's like I related to everybody, so it's kind of nice.
Oh, good, good. I'm leaving here with appreciation for the kind of people that we all are right here live, and also those of you on the recording, the kind of people that don't want just normal, that want better, that want great, that want excellent, to the point where you're willing to carve out time in your day to focus on your healing and to connect with other like-minded people. So I'm leaving with that, and I want to do one more round of what was one of your favorite moments from this healing circle. So we'll just go in the same order. Justin, favorite moment?
My favorite moment was when Mo mentioned that rest can be in motion, because I just got that message like literally earlier today. And also too, when I asked her about the moon ritual, or she brought that up, because I keep having this feeling like I need to go do a bonfire at the beach, and now I know why that came up. So thank you.
Mo, favorite moment?
It was probably the light bulb moment I had when you were talking to Justin about the parenting and what are you, that kind of like, what are you carrying with you still? That I thought, especially when you think you've shed something, and like you said, you go deeper, and then you think you're dealing with the same thing over and over, but really you're just getting deeper into it. And that was like a real like aha moment for me.
Yeah, that was good. I felt that too when you said it. I was like, oh, this is a good one. Christine, how about you? Favorite moment?
Yeah, I think that's what was coming to my mind too, was the aspect of going deeper. You know something on an intellectual level, and you think you worked through it, but then you re-experiencing it on a different level, on a deeper level, on a more feeling level, or heart level, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this again, but it's different. It's on a different level of understanding myself, I guess.
Oh yeah. I love that concept, and I love like talking about it. Thank you, Christine, because it creates compassion and deeper self-love. And I shared this a few times, and I'll share this with you all right now because it's relevant. But like, the minute I said I wanted to be a self-love teacher and I put myself out there as like self-love, all the ways that I hate myself love to show up. And it has me in a constant like existential crisis of like, why am I doing this? And like, who am I to lead a self-love healing circle? I hate myself right now. But I'm always reminded of like, no, the universe is molding me into who I say I am and to who I want to be and to what the universe made me to be. And I know that self-love is my jam. And because of that, it requires me to constantly face self-loathing and heal that. So thank you both for bringing that in. My favorite moment was, I had so many. There were so many beautiful, yummy moments. But one of my favorite moments was Christine, since I had never really met you before, and when you were the first to share, and you talked about your business, and it was just so cool. It just brought me so much joy to hear you talk about it, because I could feel your joy. And also the guts that it took for you to like leave that job and to step into this, and also understanding that probably most people around you don't get it, but like we get it. And so that was one of my favorite moments to hear about your business. So thank you, Christine, for being here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I enjoyed being here. Thank you.
So just to wrap up, I pulled 2 cards for us, and it's just something to leave you with.
Hey, Amelia, before we do that, can I give a quick honorable mention real quick?
Yeah, honorable mention.
Yeah, so this was for Christine. When you said you act as though you need permission to like be happy in your life and your career. I related that so much because sometimes I do improv, and sometimes, and like we even say this when we're on stage, like sometimes we perform like we need permission to do or say something in a game or in a scene. So like I know when I feel as like I'm performing as if I need permission, I get stuck and my scenes are horrible. But when I play like all out and big, my scenes are wonderful, and like I just don't care. Like the crowd loves it. It's wonderful. So I encourage you, because like something that I'll do, like if you feel like you need permission to do a certain thing in life or whatever, move toward that thing that you feel like you need permission to do, and like do it extremely like over extravagant, and then you can swing back later. But just do that, because if you just try it, because then you'll start feeling as if you can live your life fearlessly without anything holding you back. So thank you. I really related to that.
Oh, thank you.
How does that resonate for
Thank
you,
you.
Christine?
Oh, thank you. That was wonderful.
Good.
I really liked that. I liked that whole concept of just going forward full speed, and then I can always make adjustments and find that balance later.
Yeah,
Well, it's like
absolutely.
that quote, only when I go too far will I know how far I can go.
Yes.
And I definitely go too far all the time. So.
Thank you, man.
And I love it. Thank you, Justin, for asking for what you needed. Any other last words before I close with our cards of the day to close off? Okay, so the first one, I got really excited when I pulled it. It's congratulations, you are right on time. And I feel like this is a supplement to that, which is slow down, take it easy, be gentle. And the congratulations, you're right on time is from the career category, and slow down is from the spirituality category. But I feel like they're working in tandem today for us. And interestingly enough, everyone brought up, Mo, you were talking about Mo and Christine talking about your businesses, and Justin about your new venture, your creative ventures. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm Amelia Fortes. I hope to see you at future circles. Just keep your eyes peeled for the email, because I'll have all the links to all the resources that I mentioned in that email. And Christine, too, in that email, you'll see all the recordings from previous healing circles if you wanna take a look. I don't know if you ever had a chance to. And I hope to see all of you again soon.
Yeah.
And to those of you watching the recording, thank you. Come live. Done with this recording stuff. Okay. Talk to you all later. Have a great Tuesday. Bye.